So the other town over, I don't know, it's a ways from here, has a Facebook group also, just like this town has a Facebook group. And you know, when I first started the lawnmower repair business, I know I was spamming, and I know that some troll's gonna say, oh, that's terrible, you're just a cruel individual. But I was really trying to get the lawnmower repair business off the ground at a pretty good pace right out of the gate. And I think I did a pretty good job. And I don't think I made anybody overly mad. But in some of those groups, like the one that town over, put where everything I had would be reviewed. Well, I messaged the lady and I said, you know, I'm sorry and that kind of stuff. And she said, yeah, just do it once a month. Well, I was just doing it once a month, and they were approving every post after that. So I thought, cool. They're not mad at me. They just wanted the once a month, which I read the rules and it didn't say that in there, so that's okay. Well, I haven't posted in there all winter in any of the groups all winter, other than, like, you know, Happy Valentine's Day or, you know, something like that, Merry Christmas, you know, and all those got approved. They don't seem to have a problem with a business saying, you know, happy whatever. It's kind of a festive thing, I guess, so they're okay with that. So like I said, I haven't posted in any of those groups any type of advertisement all winter. Well, March 1st, apparently this is the Lawnmower Repair Week. It was invented by, I think, Toro. So I advertised in several of the groups today. Not all of them, but some of them. The two towns, I do one town on this side 10 miles and another town this side about 10 miles, and then there's one on this side that there's no town. I mean, so I don't even so that gives me a 3-town radius. I feel pretty comfortable with that. And anyway, I posted on that town that, you know, I talked to the lady you know, a couple of years ago over, and they've unrestricted me. So I can post freely now without having to be approved. I thought that was interesting. And so I messaged the lady today and I asked her, you know, thank you, or not, I didn't ask her, I said, thank you, I really appreciate you taking me off the restriction list. I was trying to be polite, I just messed up, you know, whatever I said. And she says, no. You know, I do realize we didn't specify it in the rules. And she said that, you know, you're a solid business owner there in town, and you know, we feel like that you should be able to post, but we would still ask you to do it once a month. And of course, no problem. So I thought that was kind of nice that they recognize that I'm trying to provide a good service to the community at a reasonable price. She said reasonable price. I don't remember ever doing business with her, but she acted like we did. I didn't ask her specifically because I didn't want to act like I forgot who she was. Although I did. If I've done work for her, I don't remember her. And there's another group that's pretty picky about advertisements also. Well, and so I'm what I'm going to do with that one, because I'm not restricted in that one, is I'm just going to ask the administrators if I can post it before I actually do. So I'll give it another day or two before I post. Like I said, I've posted in several today, so you know, I don't want to flood the whole feed if somebody's in every one of those groups, which is pretty common actually. So, but I did get a call or a message, somebody wanting to bring their tiller over. I don't know why, it always seems like the first job of the season, which has not been the first job, but you know, the first job of the actual repair season, March 1st, is a tiller that's locked up. It just seems strange to me. I had a tiller last year that was locked up. But that's what she said, couldn't pull the pull rope, so fingers crossed it's something simple. You know, maybe a rock stuck in the tines, or it's hydro locked, or something just real simple. Or the rope stuck. That would be great too. She said it died and she couldn't pull the rope. Of course, it could be that it's just locked up, so. And usually it's just better to go get it. I mean, unless it's one of these big ones, you know, with the rear drive and all that stuff, or the front drive with the rear tines, they're usually not worth fixing. But we'll see. What else is going on? Oh, it's much colder today. So we're going to be in this cold spell for 2 days, which isn't terrible. I can handle the 2 days. But we got into the hickory. And the hickory is just, oh, it's so hot to burn. Hickory is one of the highest BTU woods you can get. So we had such a warm winter that we burned up all our walnut, which is what we like to burn in the fall and the spring when the temperatures are not as cold. And we like to burn the hickory and oak in the dead of winter. But it was such a long warm spell this year that we used up all our walnut and sycamore. So really that only leaves us with, well, hickory pretty much. I mean, we got some oak, but I guess we'd have to dig for it in order to get it. I tried to load it light, but boy, I'm telling you, it just burned forever. It just did not want to stop. Yeah, it's mostly walnut by this point. Yep. We got some oak over here, but oak's just almost as hot, so it doesn't really matter. Either or. What are you gonna do? 6 one way, half dozen the other. But that hickory is just, wow. It is something else. You know, it's just hard to believe that we've been here 6 years and really half the stockpile, or you know, is, well, not half, because I still got some down there, it's pretty much gone. You know, I always said this was going to last us 15 years, which it looks like it's going to, but it just doesn't seem like it. We've been here 6 years. So, I don't know. We'll have to start looking for some firewood before this runs out, because you don't want to run out and then have to resupply it, because all that wood's going to be wet, you know, green, and you got to have it 20%. So I didn't cut any firewood this winter, but next winter I'll cut some more firewood. Like I said, I had quite a bit of walnut over here, which got us through most of the winter. This, it was wet, so we left that to dry for another year. But really there just was, I thought I got most of that split, but I see a log out here that I guess I missed a couple pieces. Yeah, there's some more here that I got to get. Huh, how did I miss that? Well, I can get that before it gets too many snakes out here. Huh. Who knows what I was thinking. I thought I got that. You just get old, I guess, and forget things. So I suspect business is going to pick up pretty quick here pretty soon. I don't know. It's so hard to get through the winter with no business or very little business. I had the same problem last year this time, where I was thinking, well, you know, that year, I guess people kind of decided that they weren't going to use me anymore. I mean, I'm the only person around for like 40-mile radius, so who else are they going to use? My prices are pretty inexpensive. So, I mean, really, what are they going to do? But I'm telling you, let's see, last year was a little different than this year. This year it's going to rain this week. Last year it didn't rain. As a matter of fact, we had a lot of brush fires going all over the area. It was pretty serious, actually. I mean, it was constantly smoky. And we've had a few brush fires, but I think most of them were controlled burns. But last year they were just all out of hand. But this year it's supposed to rain this first week. So I'm kind of suspecting that the Kansas City people are going to come out here to their second homes this weekend. It's going to be warm, it's going to be dry, and they're going to think, I'm going to need to get that mower running. They're going to go out there and it's not going to start, and I'll have to work on it. So that's why I posted it today. That'll give the Kansas City folks time to look at the Facebook pages and realize, oops, yeah, I need to think about that. So what are you gonna do? What else going on? There's nothing going on really. It's Sunday, so I've been just kind of hanging out in the house. Like I said, it's cold, and I'm really not all that interested in being out in the cold. So, and it's windy. That's what makes it so tough, is the wind. Just beating you down constantly. And of course you got to yell over the wind on the microphone. And Girlie's been out most of the day. She came out here at 4:30 and just laid out here. She didn't want to go back in. And I do let her stay out here. She seems to enjoy it out here. I check her ears occasionally, make sure they're not too cold. I mean, it's not below freezing right now, so her ears are not going to freeze off her head. But when it's really cold and she stays out, I make her come in about every 15 minutes, a half hour. But she likes being outside. And she's a fantastic guard dog, considering how old she is. She barked earlier, and I ran out here. Of course, she doesn't run around because she's so old. And her throat is so messed up from, I guess, a choke collar. So she has a hard time barking. It's a pretty rough bark. But I looked out there and there was a dog running around, and she was just keeping an eye on that dog. So she's pretty good at keeping an eye on things. And that'll be nice in the summertime when people pull up with these ultra quiet vehicles. She'll bark at them, and then I'll know there's somebody out there. It's she's done it a couple times already this winter, and it's really helped out. And she's pretty good. Now if Red's outside with her, it gets a little bit more rambunctious and it's hard to keep them under control. But if it's just her by herself, she's pretty good. I mean, she'll do that, does that rough bark, but when you get Red out here, then she acts like she's younger than she is, and then they both kind of go running up the hill, and you got to keep them off the road and all that stuff. But I've enjoyed having them around. Of course, I hated that we lost Skitty. I really do hate that. I mean, I really like that cat a lot. But I'm glad that we gave her a good home, just like we're giving these guys a good home. I suspect that Girlie, the older dog, won't make it much longer. But at least she will have died comfortable. I mean, last summer she was not comfortable. She was absolutely starving to death. And just in constant pain, I'm sure. The fleas and the ticks were just terrible. And both of them were just miserable. And Red was nearly dead. But at least, you know, let's say she lived another day. That means that she lived a good 6-8 months happy, comfortable, getting to lay around and not worry about a thing as she slid into her deathbed. I'm kind of happy about that. And the same thing with Skitty. I didn't think Skitty was old as she was when we got her, but she was pretty old, I guess. And really good cat. It's the only cat that I've ever known that will wake you up if you don't get up to the alarm. She would come up and headbutt you. It was incredible. So I think I'm going to jump off of here. It's pretty cold. So if you'll click this up next box to take the video over to my other channel, really appreciate it. Go check it out. It's a brand new video today. So if I can inspire you, get ready for the season so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.